You know what happened. You were there. You heard the words. You felt the sting. But now, they're looking at you like you're the crazy one. That never happened. You're being too sensitive. I think you're remembering it wrong. And suddenly, you're the one apologizing, explaining, doubting the memory that was crystal clear 5 minutes ago. Your hands shake. Your thoughts spiral. You pull out your phone to check old texts, replaying conversations, searching for proof that you're not losing your mind. But here's the thing. You're not crazy. You're being destabilized. And there are 10 phrases, 10 specific linguistic weapons that people use to dismantle your reality one sentence at a time. Once you recognize them, you'll see the pattern everywhere. But what they're really doing with these phrases, the psychological damage happening beneath the surface, it's more sinister than you ever imagined. Gaslighting isn't just lying. It's an assault on your perception, your ability to trust what you see, hear, and feel. Every time they use one of these phrases, they're planting a seed of doubt in your mind. And over time, those seeds grow into full-blown confusion about your own reality. Here are the 10 phrases. Listen carefully. You're overreacting. Translation, your emotions are wrong. Your response is invalid. The problem isn't what I did, it's how you're responding to it. That never happened. Flat-out denial of events you know occurred. Whether it's deliberate or self-serving denial, the effect is the same. It erases your experience. You're too sensitive. This trains you to suppress your feelings, to stop trusting your emotional responses, to believe that what hurts you shouldn't. I was just joking. You can't take a joke. They disguise cruelty as humor, and when you don't laugh, you're the problem. You're uptight, humorless, no fun. You're remembering it wrong. They rewrite history, twist facts, alter timelines until you're so confused you start doubting your own memory. Why do you always have to ruin everything? This shifts blame. You're not addressing a legitimate problem, you're causing one by bringing it up. Everyone thinks you're crazy, dramatic, paranoid. Isolation tactic. They make you believe no one else would validate your experience. You're alone in your perception. You're projecting. Psychological reversal. They accuse you of doing exactly what they're doing. It's disorienting. It makes you question your own motives. I never said that. Even when you heard it, even when witnesses heard it, they deny their own words. Reality becomes negotiable. Stop living in the past. This dismisses accountability. They want you to move on without resolution, without apology, without change. Now, here's what's happening in your mind when you hear these phrases repeatedly. Under chronic stress, your memory confidence can drop. You start second-guessing your own recall. Your decision-making gets hijacked by threat response. You're stuck in fight or flight mode, constantly anxious, constantly second-guessing. It's not your fault you feel crazy. Your brain is responding to sustained psychological pressure. Gaslighting can be traumatic. Don't let anyone minimize it. Here's what you need to understand. Sometimes this pattern is deliberate. Sometimes it's learned behavior. Sometimes it's a desperate grab for control. But the function is the same. It makes you easier to manage. Think about it. If you don't trust your own judgment, you'll rely on theirs. If you don't trust your own memory, you can't hold them accountable. If you don't trust your own emotions, you won't enforce boundaries. You become dependent on them to tell you what's real, what's reasonable, what you should feel. That's not confusion, that's captivity. And here's the hardest truth. They didn't choose you because you're weak. They chose you because you're thoughtful. Gaslighters don't target everyone. They often target people with strong empathy. People who self-reflect, people who are willing to consider they might be wrong. They exploit your self-awareness. They weaponize your willingness to take responsibility. Because someone who never questions themselves, they're harder to destabilize. But you analyze. You care about being fair, and they saw that as an opening. So every time you walk away from a conversation feeling confused, guilty, or like you're the problem, that's not random. That's a pattern. So what do you do when you hear these phrases? First, document everything. Screenshots, voice memos, journal entries, time-stamped. Not to prove anything to them, they may never admit it, but to prove it to yourself. When they say, "That never happened," you pull up the receipts. Not for them, for you. You need an external anchor to reality when your internal one is under attack. Second, stop defending yourself. This is the hardest part. When they say you're overreacting, your instinct is to explain why you're not, to justify your feelings, to make them understand. Don't. Because every explanation you give is another opportunity for them to twist your words. Instead, say this: I'm not going to debate my reality with you. Then stop talking. It will feel unnatural, like you're being rude. You're not. You're refusing to participate in your own erasure. Third, use the gray rock method for phrases designed to provoke. When they say, you always ruin everything, or everyone thinks you're crazy, they're fishing for a reaction. Give them nothing. Okay, if you say so, I'll think about that. Flat, neutral, boring. You become uninteresting to manipulate. Fourth, name the tactic out loud. That's gaslighting. You're rewriting what happened. You're deflecting. Don't argue about whether they're doing it. Just label it and move on. This does two things. It disrupts their script and it reinforces your clarity. Fifth, find an external validator, a therapist, a trusted friend who's objective, someone outside the relationship who can reality check with you, not to gang up on the other person, but to maintain your sanity. You need people who will say, no, you're not crazy. That did happen. Your feelings are valid, because isolation is the gaslighter's best friend. And sixth, the non-negotiable. Create distance or leave. I know that's not what you want to hear, but if the pattern continues and they refuse accountability, distance becomes protection, because gaslighting isn't a communication problem. It's a power problem, and you cannot love someone into respecting your reality. So you have to ask yourself, how much of your sanity are you willing to sacrifice? How many more conversations are you willing to walk away from feeling insane? There's no perfect answer, but there is a cost. Make sure you're not the one paying it forever. You've been fighting to prove you're not crazy. You've been gathering evidence, over-explaining, bending yourself into shapes to make them see the truth. But here's what you haven't realized yet. You don't need them to validate your reality for it to be real. Your memory is real. Your feelings are real. Your experience is real. Even if they never admit it, even if they deny it to their grave, you know what happened, and that's enough. So if this script felt like it was written about your life, if you recognized those 10 phrases like old scars, I need you to do something. Drop this in the comments. I trust my reality. 4 words, but they're a declaration that you're done negotiating your sanity with people who profit from your confusion, that you're done dimming your clarity to make someone else comfortable. Say it, mean it, protect it. Because the moment you stop defending your reality is the moment you start reclaiming it. And no one, no matter how convincing, how charming, how persuasive, gets to take that from you again.